Welcome to the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary. In this show, Rosemary creates a safe place to nurture your inner light, ask questions, develop new insights, and find your soul's purpose. So please welcome the host of Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary DeTrolio.
Hi there, I'm your host, Rosemary DeTrolio, and this is the Lightwalker's Path on Bold Brave TV, streaming live in multiple formats. Join me every Tuesday at 10 Eastern to develop these new insights, find out your soul's purpose, and to hear enlightening and inspired guests that I'll have on each week. You can find replays on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many streaming platforms. Today, I have a guest, Ruth Ratliff, vibrational sound therapist, author of The Voice of the Women's Wisdom, and advocate for empowering women through sound and voice, located in New Jersey. And I'd like to welcome my guest, Ruth Ratliff. Hi,
Hi,
Ruth.
Rosemary. Thank you. Hi.
Welcome. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. We've been connecting with each other for many years through my business and also through the power of your voice and sound and your wonderful things that you do at your office as well. So I wanted to ask you about sound and why you're so passionate about bringing sound into this time right now.
Mm. Well, I've always been connected to sound. Sound and music have been my life for, since I was a little girl. I was a professional vocalist, a singer, and a performer for many years. I taught voice for 20 years. I married I married my accompanist who accompanied my lessons, and he and I had a music studio called Gemini Music. We're a piano voice private studio. He still teaches piano, but I transitioned into sound therapy. My why about why I got into this is because I'm absolutely convinced that my relationship with my voice, learning about how to use my voice, the vibrations of my voice, learning how to share it with others, my relationship with music absolutely helped me move through a series of trauma and tragic losses in my early life. My mom, dad, and brother all passed through tragic circumstances before I turned 30. And I grew up in an alcoholic family dynamic where basically you didn't speak your mind. We were not taught to speak our mind. We weren't taught to, to share our feelings. My parents certainly did not model healthy behaviors. And so it became a dynamic where there was a lot of fear of,
Mm,
you know, of
letting it
speaking
go.
out. Yeah.
Mm.
Your definitely throat chakra issues for
Oh,
sure.
wow. Sure.
Uh, so it's no mistake or no, we're drawn to that which we need to heal, how we need to heal ourselves, right? So I was drawn to singing. And then through that, um, my husband bought me one, I don't know, 10 years ago, a throat chakra bowl, and that was the beginning of the end.
Isn't that amazing? I know you've got a whole array of these beautiful crystal bowls and things that make sound. I've experienced your beautiful sound sessions and your healing modality, and it's really powerful and it's so relaxing and so beautiful to feel that the sound all around you. It's really quite a unique experience. I know that years ago when I did a reading for you, it came out in your reading that you were supposed to be doing sound therapy and toning. And that probably must have been, excuse me, maybe 10 to 15 years ago. And it's
Easy.
so interesting how you are now on the forefront of this whole array of sound. Very interesting. So, I know bowls help with grounding, and when I do Reiki or healing work, grounding is really important for the body to feel anchored. And I want you to explain how you use these bowls to also help people ground their energy and how that helps.
Hmm. Um, yeah, actually, for my own energy is good too,
Uh-huh.
because you have to be very grounded, in general, but definitely when you work on clients, that's very important. What I will do is I work a couple different ways. It's my intention always that I think trumps any frequency that I play. But I work one on one where people will lie on a massage table fully clothed with a blanket over them. And then I have these bowls called Zen bowls that are therapeutically designed to vibrate down into the body, into the tissues of the body. And some of the bigger bowls, what I'll do is I will put them down by the feet and I'll actually play the bowls right on the client's feet. And then I will bring the energy down. I'll run the bowls through, down their legs to ground them. I also tell them too that they can use their voices to ground
Mm.
themselves as well at home. What I do for myself is I'll go outside in my backyard. I have a nice big backyard. Rosemary's like, what, 4 houses from me, right? We're out in the beautiful country here. And I will go out in bare feet. And that's really a wonderful thing to do. But not only will I do that, but I'll shake or I'll do some kind of movement and then do like make a very
Mm-hmm.
deep sound
The
and think
sound.
about sending my energy down to Mother Earth. And that's
Absolutely.
something you can do yourself every morning. It just clears me for the day. I even do it in the shower, because the water, you're actually sending that beautiful frequencies and overtones to the water, and
Mm-hmm.
water goes all around the world. So imagine how you're doing your part, right, to raise the vibration
That's
of
right.
of the whole world, of all of us, and everything.
I know in the works of Emoto, Dr. Emoto from Japan, he did a lot of experiments with water crystals and the frequency of water crystals and how they change through vibration and voice. And then he would take two samples from the same water. He would speak to one or sing to one, and then he would freeze both of them and compare the look of them. And the one that had the power word like love and happiness actually looked different. And I know that you have a short video which is very, very intriguing on how the voice or sound affects somatics. And I want you to show that and explain that. We have a few minutes before a break, so I would really love you to show that and explain what we're seeing.
Sure thing. Here we go. Yes, this is basically the study of cymatics is a study of visible sound vibrations. And there's a machine called a cymoscope that was discovered by Dr. John Stuart Reed some time ago. Basically, it's a speaker, drop of water, and a camera. And it films what happens to a drop of water when it is infused with sound. And this is the human voice. These patterns recreate the patterns that are found in nature, from the spiral of our DNA to the spiral of a galaxy. Isn't it beautiful? The human voice has so many overtones.
That is
And
fascinating.
that if you hear, say, when somebody sings or you hear an instrument, you hear one pitch. But depending upon the instrument, like a stringed instrument or a piano or a voice, there are many other overtones over the what they call the fundamental. And
Uh-huh.
uh, and so you're getting this huge complement of all these frequencies with your own voice every time you speak or sing, with frequencies, sounds that are custom made for your body.
That's
And
beautiful.
so when you think about how much water are we, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that
Absolutely.
drop of water, hey, what's happening? Sound has the capacity to shift or reform matter. So you're literally getting reorganized from the molecular level, right? And even beyond probably the quantum, I'm sure the quantum level, there's so much we don't understand about energy
Yeah.
bodies and so forth. Yeah.
I always think of, when I was a child and you're learning how sound travels in these waves. So when you have a voice, it's not only you, it's traveling in waves out everywhere, and it affects all the things in the field of energy. So I understand that whole idea about sound traveling and changing the frequencies of what's around it. It also would show you those positive words have such an effect on other people on an energetic level, more than just the words you hear, but the intent behind the word and the intent of the tone is very important. I know when I taught children, we were very mindful of your tone of voice with children. You don't want to scream or yell or whatever. It's the soothing tone that affects them in a different way. You could say the same thing two different ways, and it's the tone. So I understand that idea. I was also thinking of native people, how they used to sing to the earth and sing to Mother Nature. And that is just, that really showed it. That video really showed the change when you are singing, to the earth or singing to each other. I love
Absolutely.
that.
And they're finding too that sound, you know, that's only half true now from what they're understanding, that the waveform is
Yeah.
is part of it, but sound actually travels in a holographic bubble. It propagates or
Yes.
forms or blossoms. So you're like literally surrounding yourself and other people. And your thoughts, they're finding too, are even more powerful. That your
Yeah.
silent thoughts, your self-talk,
Yes.
and that's why they talk about doing mantra
Yes.
silently. That's like sort of like the end game, like where you start out doing them audibly, but then you graduate to
Mm.
internally, and that's even more powerful because our thoughts are energy and they
Yeah.
propagate, go out into the the field, right? The field of all
Uh,
possibility. Yeah, and I
it's
used
like
to,
a
funny because
prayer.
I used to go right up the
Prayer.
road when I was walking, and I used to sing to the trees up the road.
I do that. I talk to the trees as I do my walk. Yeah, it's funny. I took a class years ago with a man that he was just on the forefront of working with trees, and he used to hold a tree and feel the vibration. So I took this class with him. He's called the Tree Whisperer, and he was at a mega center, and I took a class with him over here in New Jersey, and I actually heard the trees humming. So the trees hum, and they have a deep rumbling humming sound. So I thought that was cool. And now I just read about plant wave. This person invented this gizmo that you put on a plant, and you can hear the tones that make music from the plants. I'm like, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah,
I may have to purchase that.
I did get it. I did get it. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. We are starting, I think, well, I know I am. You know how you, as a gardener for
Yes.
many years, you just pull out weeds willy nilly and you don't even think about
Yeah.
the energy of the little plant that you're pulling out. You just, and now I can hardly pull weeds.
I pull them, but I tell them I'm sorry. I'm going to send them somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing because we're all starting to get a sense of the sentience of everything,
Hmm.
right?
Everything.
Everything has
Everything.
energy. You think about, I mean, this water bottle, the straw,
Yeah.
the water, it has energy.
Yeah.
Everything. This
Yeah.
net has energy. It's
Yes.
all, and it's not solid, you know?
That's
Even though
right.
it's solid, it's not. And
Yeah.
that's so interesting, that sound, how it moves through air, liquid, solids, and it moves through us. And it has the capacity to shift us biologically, energetically, and spiritually. I've had quite a few experiences with clients. Having what they would call metaphysical experiences from the
I
sound
love.
effects. Yeah.
Yes. There's more on that after the break because I have an interesting story from the last session that we did with the Reiki and the sound together. And after our sponsor break on Bold Brave TV, I want you to come back. Everybody will come back and listen because we have interesting conversation about the sound and the power of sound and how it could bring up memories and thoughts with everyone. So let's go to a break and we'll be right back in a few shakes of a lamb's tail.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Lightwalker's Path on Bold Brave TV, and my wonderful guest today is Ruth Ratliff, vibrational sound therapist. And we were speaking before the break about the power of sound. And recently, Ruth and I paired up again. And in her studio, I did Reiki, and Ruth did the singing bowl at the same time. And we had a group in, and many of them had very transformative, interesting experiences. So, Ruth, I want you to think about what you've heard from your clients after our session, and then I'll reiterate something that a client had said to me after we had worked with them and we've paired up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what Rosemary and I were just talking about on the break was that we aren't this stuff. We're energetic. We're the quantum. We're part of that field, energy. So when we raise our vibration by doing these experiences like sound healing and so forth, we're in that altered state, and it makes it easier, I think, for us to have these mystical experiences. And several people have come up to me afterwards or during the session and said that they have seen their family and friends in spirit have appeared to them. In fact, one gal who had lost her son maybe a year and a half ago through suicide, for one of the sessions, and I came to her. I always ask people, hey, anybody want to share any experiences? And she immediately bursts into tears and says, my son came to me. He stood in front of me like he was real, like it was.
Oh, beautiful.
And he said, Mom, I love you. I'm fine. Don't worry. We'll see each other.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a great experience to have that gift of someone coming to you.
So thankful. Oh, I was so honored and blown away and so happy for her that she got some sense of peace from that,
Excuse me, I've got a bad cold.
I know.
The experience when we were working together, a couple people told me they had unique things happen. I remember when I touched one person's head, she told me that she felt Mother Mary walk through me and had my hands on her head, and she felt her whole heart open with pink light. And between the Reiki and the sound, the combination of these two modalities were really powerful for our guests, and many of them, expressed that to us. Excuse me.
Yeah, I feel that I always had this sense that because we're affected by sound on many levels every second of every day, right? And we're literally wired for sound. So sound can be such a wonderful companion modality for so many of the holistic modalities. I think for any modality for that matter. I know they're doing it in the hospitals now. In some hospitals are
Wow.
having sound baths. They're also, I know in Europe they've been doing it for years, way ahead of us in the United States. With that, but they've had people, working with bowls on the body in the hospitals for
Uh,
many years. So
yeah.
it needs healing. It it
Yeah.
it helps, and I think it kind of supercharges the other modality. Like I was working with an acupuncturist too, and you think
Uh-huh.
about the needles of the acupuncture, right? That they
Mm,
take in like little antenna that pull in the metal that pull in the sound, and it's
yeah.
pulling it right into that, and it's supercharging that naughty point. So
Ah,
yeah.
that's terrific. I know it's such a healing modality. They started using even Reiki in hospitals probably in the past. I've heard about it in the past 15 years more because I've trained a lot of people that work in hospitals. But before that, we are behind Europe. About 15 or 20 years ago, I channeled that sound, light, and vibration are going to be the methods of healing that are coming in the future. And the future, hopefully, is now. That's beginning to infuse the medical community with these other modalities that are very healing to put the body back in the frequency of healing rather than illness. So I thought that was interesting to know and to see it come to fruition right now.
Oh, definitely. And Edgar Cayce, that's what I say in my presentations. Edgar Cayce predicted
Mm.
that in the 40s.
In the
Einstein is
yeah,
said to have said it as well. It's pretty. I mean, we use it to a certain extent in the medical community at this point. But I think they're always trying to find out the why. Why does this work this way? What's the mechanism? And we're really not 100% sure yet of the mechanism. And I think that's a little off-putting for the scientific community because it's like, quantum physics is starting to
yeah,
obviously delve into that, go into those areas that are a little, as Einstein said, spooky action at a distance.
yeah.
They're not sure spooky, it's
Yeah.
not quite
Yep.
sure what's going on there.
Yeah, can you imagine if Tesla was alive today? He would have explained it very well, because he had it down years ago too. I know too, like you think of red laser lights. The hospital's using red laser lights. Radio ablation is sound that breaks up stones in the body. So they
Yes.
have some of this stuff that's there. Imaging through using the water and sound for the MRIs and the checking the babies, those are
Ultrasound.
amazing where you could see the child. And I've seen those photos. It blows my mind. So they have it to a certain degree, but they're just sticking a toe in right now. So hopefully that'll be it. I want to see them use the laser like they do on these sci-fis and check the body, and let you know what it is without cutting into you. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, I think the technology and the innovation of people, of scientists can go hand in hand. I really do feel
I
that. There's something to be said. I know there's a lot more coming out now. A lot of people are making these apps for sound healing.
uh,
To me,
yes.
as a sound somebody who does it, works with it, and works with clients one on one, I don't know. I guess I just feel that you're missing out on that connection with the other person,
Yeah.
with another being, and
Yes.
I feel that can be very powerful. And yeah,
I,
it's great to have those apps and everything. I think that it's all wonderful that all this is coming to fruition. But there's something about working one on one with a person that I think
I
cannot be duplicated.
Yeah, I think it's a very powerful experience when your energy and your energy fields merge. So, like when I'm working on with a client one to one and they're in my space, they have a physical feeling by the energy that I'm sending out and by the energy they receive. So the energetic bodies, they react with each other, just like they do when you're in a crowd and you get like an icky or a good feeling with someone's energy field. And I know that sound and any of these energy things tune up the vibrational pattern around the body. And that, in fact, is the matrix, so to speak, the matrix of energy of us that responds to the matrix of energy with all the things in our field of awareness.
Yeah.
So, that's really, really something. And I think if you ever read the book, The Holographic Universe, I can't remember who wrote it, but it talks about this scientific matrix of energy that is affected by all things. It was a wonderful book. If you haven't picked that one up, you have to look at that one because it does explain what you're talking about with the field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many, like you say, they're dipping their toe in. They do know that the brain and the heart both produce an electromagnetic field, and
Oh
it's in the
yeah.
torus field, like that's
Force
like a black
field.
hole shape, right? And that
Yeah.
comes about 5 feet from our body. And you're talking about getting an icky feeling or a good feeling.
Yes.
You're literally sharing your heart field. And
Yeah.
heartmath.org is doing amazing work on the heart. They're finding the heart is actually the brain of the body. Uh, but
Yes.
but sound therapy syncs up these two fields, and
Hmm.
that's really what gets you into that resting brain state, which is heart brain coherence, which is right. And that's why when you feel so good when you've had a sound session,
Yeah, I,
because
I
you're
know too. The upper heart area is the link kind of between these two areas, and many people that are overthinkers are stuck up here. So you've got people that are very left brain linear, and they have a really hard time dropping down into heart energy to express themselves and to allow it because they're overthinking a lot. So, like you're saying, the sound is a great way to begin to link these two again. Where they should be naturally linked, but they separate, by our will and our brain and how we function.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
yes, absolutely, I agree. And what I find fascinating is the location of the throat chakra
between.
and the third eye and the crown. And as my instrument obviously is my voice, so I do a lot of work with people. That's my passion, is helping people to find their voice, so to speak, with not with singing. Now I'm doing it a little differently. I'm working with a person's voice, with a more awareness of what's
Mhm.
going on in their inner landscape
Oh,
internally,
okay.
connecting to that, and then asking the body, what does it want to tell me, and asking if it wants to release it on the sound,
Right.
uh, using organic sounding and movement, somatic movement. I'll share a super quick story. This was so great for me to experience, but I had a number of years ago, I went to a myofascial release therapist. And
Mhm.
myofascial release, for your listeners, it's similar to massage, only they don't do the kneading, they do compression. So the practitioner had been compressing my chest for quite some time. And all of a sudden, my whole body started to shake, which is common for that. It's called unwinding because the fascia starts to release. But then a primal yell comes out of my mouth that was completely involuntary.
Hmm.
Like, it's just like,
Like
ah.
primal scream. Primal scream.
But the fascia, my body, in its infinite wisdom, released whatever trauma or constriction through my voice.
Yeah, I completely
Over the
understand that. After giving birth to a really big kid back in the day, you get that primal and it releases the energy of the distress in your body. So I do understand that. And as a healer too, we do hold traumas in the not only the fascia of the body, but in the muscle and the cellular level. So we're going to come back to that conversation after this next break. We have a sponsor break coming up. This is the Lightwalker's Path on Bold Brave TV. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. And I'm going to ask Ruth some information about her bowls and her book and anything else that she wants to share coming up. Okay.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality? But it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating. Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. Yeah, it feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back. This is the Light Walker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary, and my guest, Ruth Ratliff, vibrational sound therapist. And I asked her if she would play one of her crystal bowls so you can experience the sound of it. In person, it's a different experience. So we're working with the audio we have, on the broadcast, but it's a very powerful experience when you're in her presence. Okay, Ruth.
Hit it.
Hit it. Literally hit it.
This is a beautiful practitioner bowl, and it has citrine in the handle, and it's a beautiful, clear sound. This is the note is E, for those that are curious. Ah, la, 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 ah, la, 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 na,
Beautiful. Yeah. The
My baby.
citrine on the handle is a very clearing stone. So I use citrine when I clear the body. But you were channeling Lomi Lomi from I don't know if that was a guide or who you used to be, but
Oh,
that was from Hawaii, that spirit guide. And I've experienced listening to her sing during these bowl sessions, and she has several spirit guides that'll step in. So it's either her guides or her past life energy that she draws back when she does this. So I've experienced it a few times, and her voice actually changes, and the vibration of the voice changes as she does the sessions. It's very amazing.
what's really, see, I have no idea that of any of this. This is so interesting. Everybody has their gifts, right? But
Mm-hmm.
love is people like Rosemary will hear me and they'll say, "You're channeling love," like she's saying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, it's so cool that we're all. I think we all have that ability Don't we really? It's just some of us, it's more developed than others, but we all have that ability to open ourselves up. And I think for me, working with the sound has absolutely expanded me in that regard
I
tremendously.
I know that you've been journaling and you've been also singing in tongues, which is something that happens when now you're doing your sessions. I know that your wonderful book, The Voice of Women's Wisdom, is a very powerful read. So I want you to tell about why you wrote that and kind of the gist of what that book is.
Hmm. Yeah, I started out, before I even got into the sound work. I just, how sometimes in life you recreate yourself. You have a feeling that it's time to do something different, right? So I wanted to empower women and really through that empower myself. Really, that
Mm.
was the bottom. It's all about me, right? We all do these things. We all do these things first and foremost to heal ourselves, but then help others through it. And I just felt so strongly, as I said earlier, that my voice was the absolute vehicle for me to move forward in life, to expand in life, to step out, to not hold myself back from
Mhm.
being, from going for it, from being all that I could be in this density. So it's really a small little book, but it's about my experience. It talks about cymatics. We go into the science of bioacoustics. It's a lot of it is like the science behind why
Yeah,
sound affects us on so many levels, because I feel like that's important for
it is.
people to be more understandable and relatable. We talk about how power posing, be acting as if there was a study done with
Uh-huh.
Dr. Amy Cuddy about saying that, fake it till you make it. And, your posture, how you are in your body, how you feel in your body can actually change your biochemistry. I go into humming and toning. I talk about primal voice and so forth. I talk about the heart, the voice of our heart, the different voices, the voice of
Mhm.
our intuition, the voice of our heart, um, a way of listening, compassionate listening, listening to outside sounds, which is a very meditative practice. Also listening to the voice inside, and that's what I work with people more on, listening to that inner voice, and just how sound is so far reaching. It's kind of really hard to categorize it, because we are sound, voice, and vibration.
Mhm. Mhm. I do. I love the thought of that. I also work with a lot of clients on how to raise their vibration, and I do suggest the humming, the toning, sound sessions, Reiki sessions, walking in nature, all those things that you're bringing out. And there is research behind it, but Native people and ancient people have known it for years. They've used humming, toning, singing to the earth, talking to plants. We have this. I read this book years ago about Baxter. You know how he put something on a plant and he spoke to the plant, and the plant had a reaction to the man's thought and intention. And I read that back in the 70s. So there's so much information now that's coming to light in a different way based on the science. And your book is wonderful. I carry it in my office. I've sold it. I've read it. It's a very good basis for why people need sound therapy. Beautiful. Yep. So, and you can find it. It's on your website too, isn't it, Ruth? I think I
Yes.
saw it on.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, what is your website, Ruth? Just mention it so people can jot it down.
Certainly. It's my name, RuthRatliff.com.
Easy, easy. Perfect. Yes. And you also do your sound sessions on Zoom, correct?
I do, yes. I have definitely done that. Amazingly enough, it does work beautifully through Zoom because there's no time and space, right? We're in a quantum world,
Yeah.
and I just did a video on my YouTube channel. One of my clients, who is one of my virtual clients, did a beautiful testimonial about
Oh.
that, and to say how she's grew up with a lot of trauma, and she's been going to a lot of therapy, doing a lot of EMDR, brain spotting, and so forth. But she said the sound therapy, the virtual sound therapy, kicked her over kicked her up. It was like the icing on the cake that needed to bring everything together. She had this beautiful foundation of all the traditional therapies, but that was the thing that really helped. And they say that sound goes into places, creates these beautiful new neural pathways in your brain that in an easier way. It's almost like I said, your brain it's like it's ready to go. It's very profoundly affected by sound. So that, yes, so that was pretty cool. What was it, a quote I just heard that kind of speaks to that? We are non-local consciousness existing outside of the realm of traditional time and space.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
And
no, I agree.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Greg Braden works with heart math a lot, and we just went to a conference in Arizona where he and who is the guy? Oh my gosh, can't remember his name now. Can never remember his name. Bruce Lipton. Really fascinating, brilliant men. But heart math was doing research, and they're saying that the heart, there's evidence to support that the heart actually exists also, our hearts outside of time and space.
Oh yeah. Didn't they say something where the energy of your heart goes out to the far reaches of the universe and it becomes part of the collective field? So, it's funny when I'm doing a reading for someone, I read the Akashic record field, which is kind of way out there, in the realm of the all that is. But all these thoughts move out, and the lower vibration thoughts all get caught in the astral realm, which is the realm closest to the earth where energy gets stuck. So I believe that when you're doing these sound things, you're breaking that pattern of the sound and you're allowing it to filter to a higher vibration. Yeah,
Allowing your
yeah,
energy to filter to the
yeah.
higher vibration too. Yeah, right.
That's why we have to be careful what we think and what we say and the messages we put out to the world and the ones we think to ourselves, right? It's all part of it.
Yeah, you have to be literally like a warrior with your thoughts and your
You do.
words and your
Yeah.
intentions. I know, and the awareness, because we're conditioned. The
Yes.
condition is huge in this density on planet Earth. Some people call it a prison planet. We're
Uh,
conditioned to think that we're just not who we are. We're not we're not these beautiful, powerful expressions of source.
yes.
Yeah.
We are spiritual beings in this container for now. And part of it is the clues for gifts that we have to help the world. I know you said you had the singing voice and you were trained with song, but that's not really where your final this is your mission came in. So I was going to ask you, when did you feel this shift from one mission to this other mission with your bowls? You said your husband gave you a bowl, which is wink, wink, nudge, nudge, a little coincidence and reminder. But when did you feel this powerful pull that this was the next step?
Well, I kind of know exactly when it was. It was when I entered perimenopause.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
feel like the physical shift, the energetic shift in my physical body precipitated that,
Yeah.
definitely. And as as a trained singer, my voice changed through menopause quite a bit. Started to
Deeper,
get
right? A little
deep,
deeper.
got deeper. I was always a soprano. The voice got deeper. I got pitchy. I wasn't able to hold tone as well. I got breathy. So I didn't sing for like 5 years because I was so depressed. Because
Oh,
that
yeah.
was yeah. I'd been singing my whole life. I've had 7 voice teachers. Not that that's a good thing, but I that was how I defined myself. So it was like
Right.
a whole reorganizing and redefining of who I thought I was through
Yeah.
through that transition, through the transition of my
Yes.
voice. Now I'm using my voice in a different way,
Yeah.
right? For healing,
Yeah.
and it's
That,
not trying to put it into a box of the vocal pedagogy, the scales, and I still do the scales for warm up, but I'm not constraining it. I'm allowing it to be intuitive. So I do more intuitive singing.
I do believe that you wrote that in your blueprint, because if that didn't happen, you would have still been singing and you wouldn't have reached this part of your path, which you came in to do. So there's always reasons. After the break, we're going to finish up with a last bit of our chat for today. But please stay with us because we have interesting conversation coming up on the Lightworkers Path on Bold Brave TV. So we'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. This is Bold and Brave TV, the Lightwalker's Path. My guest is Ruth Ratliff, vibrational sound therapist. And before the break, we were having a conversation about the power of sound and how it changes you and how Ruth got on her path. And she was just saying that when she went through her change of life, it changed her life. And I think it's meant to. You know, we all have these situations where something just derails you temporarily from what you thought you knew or who you thought you were, and puts you on this trajectory to move past to a higher vibration of where you need to be next. And I know you said that had happened for you. So once you started on this new path and you started using your bowls, I know first you heal yourself, right? And then you work with others. So how was the first shift happening for you? When you started using these bowls, what was the first shift that you recognized in yourself that allowed you to be able to say, you know, this is amazing, I'm going to use this for my clients? Do you have a moment when that began to happen in your life for you?
It was more of a general feeling, honestly, of suspending my disbelief.
Okay. Were you more of a left brain person before this? More linear, more, no.
But I mean, I think I'm both, you know, in a way. Well, I also saw some things that were, you know, shook my ground to being. We saw the orbs. Yeah, we saw
Okay.
orbs, my husband and I both, in 2016. So that really, I think, opened me up quite a bit. It was basically, well, okay, if I saw that and I saw it, you know, like we have to seeing is believing.
Yes.
That shifted my ground of being to be like, okay, well, if that's real, then everything else is called into question. And that kind of shifted me into opening me up to the unseen,
Yes.
you know, effects of of what energy, vibration, and so forth. And I think it allowed me, after a while I had to process it, obviously, but then it opened me up to other things, and I started to see other things. Like I was in working with a client in my studio, and I see this thing that looks like a little bright blue, neon blue comet come through the wall, pass in front of me, and go out the other wall. And I'm just like, I got tears streaming down my face while I'm working on this client. They don't know what's going on. So I think that, you know, once you start breaking down your filters,
Mm,
disbelief.
yeah,
I think that was a big shift for me because I always doubted.
right. You kind of doubt yourself, I think, that you could actually see what you're seeing, right?
Yeah.
And if someone else sees it with you, like you said, you had that experience,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
really powerful. You're like, you're not the only person seeing this thing, so it must be something, right?
It must be something. Although my husband and I think, were the only ones that saw it on Route 80. They were four big, giant orange orbs, and one of them was right, by our car, keeping up with us. And
Oh, wow.
but nobody else. There's all these cars driving by, so that's a whole nother
They
conversation.
saw it. You don't know. Maybe they did. We had experience. My husband and I were driving, and we saw this like person. It wasn't really a person. It was a shadow, but you could see it, and it was reddish, and it walked across the street in front of our car. And my husband's like, "Did you just see what I just saw?" I'm like, "Yes." Was it a person that walked across, but not really a person? He goes, "Yes." I said, "We both saw it." And I've
Wow.
seen the orbs in there's a church out in I can't think of it's a oh, what the heck is it? It's in New Jersey. I can't remember where it is, but not Millbrook Village, but there's another old place that my friend had gotten married in the church, and we were seeing the orbs float around in that building as well. And those were
Mhm.
spirits that were in there. And it
Yeah, you
was known to be haunted. So, yeah.
can see them in your videos. Sometimes in my videos, I'll see these.
Yeah, yeah.
But these were gigantic. These were like the size of an SUV on
Wow.
orange, like the sun.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
it was
that
like,
something?
what beings? But it felt like, hi, time to
Yeah,
wake up.
yeah. I'm glad
That's
you see me. How are you? Yes. Ah,
so
yeah,
that
you
really precipitated a lot of, I think, the openness, the opening for me of being open to a lot of the work that I'm doing, and how to just the wonder of it, the awe
yeah.
of all this unfolding, the awareness.
I love that. And I think these things are there to make us open because if you stay closed, you will never embark on the healing journey that you want to help other people with. So I do believe that these things happen to kind of kick us in the tush and say, "Hey, listen, it's not just you. It's not just all about the here and the now. There's so much more that you can help people with." So I think that's really a wonderful experience that you had that brought you to where you are as a healer and a helper in this time.
Agreed.
Um, so, if people want to contact you and set up something with you, what's the best way for them to go about it?
To go on my website, they can
Okay.
schedule a discovery call with me. They can also schedule anything. At the top, you'll see schedule a session, and you can take a look at what my offerings are. And if you
Hmm.
need questions or need more information, certainly reach out to me in
Okay.
that, or you can email me, or even call me directly.
Good. And I would be an advocate to say her sessions are awesome. And then in June, Ruth and I are pairing up again in New Jersey at her studio, and we're doing sound and Reiki. So that would be the first Saturday in June. And we only can fit a few guests in there. So if you're interested, once you sign up for either of our mailings and you get the information, don't wait on it. It's a wonderful experience and it's very powerful for you. So, Ruth, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you today and to hear your stories and your inspiration and all the things that you do as a healer. And I really appreciate who you are. I love you. You're awesome. So, thank you so much for agreeing to do this today.
Thank you, Rosemary. The honor and pleasure is mine, truly, to know you, to have you so close, down right down the road. And you've been a wonderful, supportive friend to me and Jim, and we so
Thanks.
appreciate and love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm your host. You've been watching The Lightwalker's Path on Bold Brave TV. Thank you for spending this hour. Next week, my guest is Rita Desnoyers Garcia. She's a wonderful helper of females, and she is an awesome presenter. So I hope you come back next week at 10 a.m. and view us live, or see us later on my website, Bold Brave TV. You can see all the podcasts that are already aired. Please join. Subscribe, comment. We love to hear from you. Thank you, Ruth.
This has been the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary. Tune in each week at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network and delve into your soul's purpose through enlightening discussions, wisdom, and inspirational conversations.